What is tempo? Tempo refers to the time in which the piece is performed, and it implies a steady beat which is conventionally measured in beats per minute. During the Baroque era, tempo marks also served a different purpose. It not only referred to the speed at which the piece was performed, but also its mood and spirit of expression. This is known as the effect. For example, the word allegro in Baroque music did not necessarily imply fast, but it also meant cheerfully. The Baroque concept of effect was deeply rooted in the expression of emotions throughout a piece or movement. Moreover, tempo played an essential role in identifying the spirit or effect of a piece. This is because many 17th and 18th century writers had different interpretations of major and minor keys, which depended on the temperament that was being used.
Back when Baroque music was first developing, tempo markings were not necessary to tell tempo. Rather, the proportional relationship between meters determined most of the tempo. From this, of course, the tempo did not change as much as when you hear Chopin or any other romantic composer, where rubato is heard in almost every piece. During the Renaissance, the most tempo markings was indicated through the up and down of the conductor's hands. This showed a severe lack of tempo markings. If you look at any early Baroque piece, it is most likely that there were no tempo markings. If there were, it would most likely be an editor's version that you see every day. A common misconception is the most common notation in the early Baroque era, which is 3/4, where every quarter note is 1 beat, and there are 3 beats per measure. This was used to measure notation, and tempo was a whole different category. The dearth of tempo markings eventually stopped after an old proportional notation system started to decline near the 17th century. But before this, it was usually the conductor's choice of creativity.
In the 17th century, composers utilized different phrases to help establish the tempo in which pieces were to be played. Monteverdi used the words adagio and tardo to warn instrumentalists to not play so fast as to obscure the moving parts of the soloists. Heinrich Schütz described tardo as sad, slow, and in a slurred manner.
Over the course of the Baroque era, there were different tempo marks that were utilized to structure the music. In this section, we'll quickly be going over most of them and why they're important. To categorize them simply, we'll be going based off of where each marking came from, starting with France. The first marking from France is named Bourrée. Notes under this marking usually start on the last beat of each bar. Rigaudon, also from France, is similar to Bourrée, but usually much more simplistic in manner. Another marking that originated from France is Minuet, which was an extremely popular dance at the time. It's usually in 3/4 time, I mean small, pretty, or delicate. Gavotte, the last marking from France we'll be going over, usually has phrases that begin in the middle of the bar, and is written in 4/4 or 2/2 style. Originating from France's northern neighbor across the English Channel, Great Britain, Gige's key characteristic is that it has accents on the third beats in the bar and is written in 3/8 or 12/16. the only marking that will be going from outside of Europe is Sarabande. This dance originated from Central America, although being heavily influenced by Spanish cultures. The marking is a dance in a triple meter and has a second notes tied up. Speaking of Spain, chaconne is another marking that received its influence, but this time it's actually from Spain. These markings symbolize short and repetitive playing while having a ground bass that descends from the tonic to the dominant pitch. Courage, from Poland, is simply renowned for its triple meter style dances. Coming from Normandy, Loure is a slow dance that emphasizes weight on the beats. Although it may seem like a hassle to learn these tempo markings, they are all extremely significant in that they encompass a huge part of early music culture. Without these markings, Baroque music would not have been so dynamically colorful.
In conclusion, when we look at any Baroque composition, it is more important to determine the appropriate spirit of the piece than to determine its speed. In fact, even the right tempo cannot draw its intended emotions of the composer. As explained in this video, some of the most noteworthy clues about spirit comes from the different musical aspects, like meter, text, key characteristics, harmonic rhythm, dissonance, ornamentation, and sometimes even the note value themselves. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.